got a wild crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together, filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery, piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery, piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. We compete, jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast, put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud, every second counts, we got a wild crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire, we're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together, filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery, piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery, piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real.
Apologize to everybody ahead of time for the consistent gawking in your ear that will be me for the next chunk of time.
Speed is key, gotta move fast, put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together, feeling the piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. We compete, jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. together, filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzle
Yeah, noise canceling
hearts will
headphones
solve the
are always a
mystery.
great idea. A
Piece
lot
by
of people in
piece, our love
like
for
competitions use
puzzles
those.
is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in a perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete.
And
Jigsaw
Christian's here.
puzzle
We're
on
really
repeat.
excited to
Speed
see
is
you
key,
today.
gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we
Good morning,
compete.
everyone.
Jigsaw
Sorry,
puzzle
I'm
on
a
repeat.
bit late this
Speed is
morning.
key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in a perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud.
Hey, the puzzles don't start until you do, so you're right on top. It's very Gandalf.
So,
I'm liking the puzzle remix, by the way.
yeah, we've got a few, I've got a few in our playlist that we're going to mix up the next few minutes.
Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love
But
for
first of all,
puzzles is real.
Okay, so that should be correct. The music is off and everyone is on the screen. So I will bring up Jim and SJ. So yeah, Jim, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, yeah, I'm Jim Eakins. I'm a puzzler up in Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States, and I coach the Wicked Quick team. And I'm kind of excited to see some wicked quick puzzling from everybody here today. It seems like a pretty loaded, pretty loaded session overall with a lot of top players. So there's going to be a lot of people to watch and move around on. It's really, really exciting today.
Yeah,
And
sorry, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of juggling to do, and SJ's gonna have her work cut out for her trying to keep track of everything.
Yeah, and SJ, you can introduce yourself as well.
Good morning, everyone. I'm SJ Odell, and I am a British puzzler, despite the accent. I grew up in America, but I am, yeah, I live in London. I'm not in London currently, but yeah, I'll be helping Michelle behind the scenes, watching you all get close to your finishes. So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention, so there is a new kind of not a rule, but like a just a request since last time, since we are also having over 70 puzzlers today, just to make it easier for SJ and for myself as we are watching all the screens and trying to keep track of everybody. If you are not a top 3 finisher, or if you are have not been requested to be interviewed, if you could, after you've done your typed your done message, that you do log out of the Google Meet, but we don't want to lose you. So if you want to keep on listening, we'd love you to hop over on YouTube, write a comment, tell us what you thought of the puzzle, and yeah, just keep that going. I think it worked out really well last week. The group got smaller and smaller, and it was a lot more manageable. And I think there was also some great discussion going over on YouTube. So we hope, yeah, we don't want to kick anyone out. We don't want anyone to think that they're not welcome. We would love you just to hop over and listen to the commentary there and make our job a bit more easier. Great. So I'm just gonna check now on the administrative side. There is something I wanted to mention. This does have a poster with it. So if you have one of these Eurographics stand holders, you can actually use it for the poster. The poster is like double the size of the box. Obviously the box is very small today, but there is a poster inside, and there is like the slit at the front where you can place your poster. So just keep that in mind once you open it, that is available to be used. And welcome to everyone over on YouTube. Yeah, thanks. Glad you like the music. A lot of people yeah, joining us this morning. So some greetings to Vicky and Jessie and to everyone from our followers. So yeah, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes. As always, you can have your chat window open and get your done message prepared, so that when you finish, you're ready to go. So we sold 73 puzzles. And we have 71 accounts, so there's still some more people to arrive, considering there's also myself, SJ, and Jim in there, plus we also have some people with double devices.
All the devices. Oh, this is really exciting. It also looks like a pretty full house in the in the YouTube chat today, which is really cool.
Yeah, so somebody asked, when will the next mystery puzzles be available? We're hoping to put them on tomorrow. So we have almost everything ready to go. We did have a slight disruption with a couple of things, but all the puzzles are there, and we do hope to release them tomorrow. If you have not already, please sign up to our newsletter. There you will get an update when it's online. Just checking who's got 2 devices, Elodie and Taya.
There's always, this is the big ratchet up the roller coaster before it takes off here. Those few last minute flight checks.
So Peter requested no flowers in the puzzle. Well, you'll soon find out. Actually, I had a funny request for the event in Trier. I was going through all the registration list for Trier, and there was a field at the end for comments, and somebody said, please don't put any trees in there. I really don't like puzzling trees. So,
I mean, like plants and trees are really difficult to get around for some people. Not unreasonable. Of course, I
Okay.
might ask for no fur, but
Yeah. Yeah, I was
it's,
surprised of that. I've heard people always say like no fur, no sky, but flowers and trees, that was interesting.
they could be allergic.
S- So, any guesses from the YouTube followers what the puzzle brand might be?
It's a really good question. It seems to have stumped many people, this particular box.
Yeah, I don't even know if Amelia did a prediction this time. We'll see shortly. Okay, so we have 73 connected. So it looks like there might be another 3 to 5 people to join. Um, so I will say you may go ahead and reveal your puzzle. Please unwrap the gift wrapping and remove any plastic that is on there.
Alrighty, the moment of truth here. And what do we have inside? Does it look like a Does it look like a Jens Haasteren?
It's Jan van Haasteren.
Yeah. Oh man, those are fun. These are always fun, busy puzzles to get through. It might be intimidating for some people, but all puzzles can be solved. You guys got this.
Yeah, some people might be celebrating right now seeing this, and others might be feeling completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have removed the gift wrap and the plastic, please place the puzzle back onto the middle of the table. Yeah, I did this puzzle so many months ago, I can never remember if it was plastic shrink wrapped or if it had stickers on it, but remove any plastic that may inhibit you from removing the box. So yes, the Dutchies have got this. So yeah, the Dutch definitely have an advantage on this because they're used to this kind of image.
Yeah, they use these exclusively in their national championships for the past several years. So a lot of similar things inside of there that they can see and piece together. So it's gonna be a fun race for the people not familiar with it.
All right, I think we're ready to go. Everyone's got their puzzle unwrapped sitting on the table. So I will count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're off. It's always the exciting moment. People ripping into the bags, trying not to spill them all over the place. Right out the gate, we're going. It's cool early on seeing how many different ways there are to just flip the pieces outright. A lot of folks start with one big pile. Some spread them out in like a rainbow style. Karen Puzzle's a big fan of that. Um, I'm keeping an eye on Mariana right now, and she does sort of a big pile and squishes it down real quick and then keeps going. Uh, Christian, one of the Polish puzzlers, did this huge washout, so that way there's not a big line of puzzles everywhere, puzzle pieces everywhere, and kind of flipping through them very quickly, which is great. Amelia K is going, yeah. Michelle, tell us about the puzzle there.
Yeah, so 500 pieces from Jan van Haasteren. So the typical Dutch championship uses 1,000 pieces for the teams, but this year they did introduce 500 pieces for the individual competition. This one is called Catch the Mouse. Has it here in 4 languages, and you have a busy classroom scene. There is, I think I'll just show the poster. That's a bit better. You have
Oh wow.
a teacher screaming on the front table. So here you have the mouse. Kids are on their knees trying to catch it, and there's just a lot of chaos in the room. Kids getting up to mischief, balls being kicked, paper planes flying around. yeah, a lot of very characteristic Jan van Haasteren puzzle, and I'm really excited to see how people, yeah, go about tackling this
Oh
image.
wow. Yeah, there's a lot of things in there that are gonna be kind of fun to play around with. Wow, that is a busy puzzle, but it also means lots of small things to pick out as you're going through there. Really exciting to see what people end up targeting out the gate. There's a handful of people. Looks like they're sorting edge pieces early on. A little bit of color sort. Can't entirely tell. If there's some people doing individual element pulls just yet. Um, Really, we're about 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this so far. Um, and this is usually about the time where you see a lot of the top puzzlers wrapping up their flip. They may still be pulling certain pieces or elements as they get to carry on. Christian there seems to be almost done with his flip. Uh, Same for Andrea Mariana.
So I'm just going to mention those who are on the screen right now. We have Alex from the UK, Andrea from the US, Anna from Germany, Aneta from Germany, and I like Aneta is using her music stand to hold the poster. That's also a good idea. Then we have Arkadius from Poland and Ireland from Argentina.
It's interesting to use a music stand. There's a lot of musicians that are also into puzzling, and hopefully the like fast light fingers keep them keep them on the move, which is really excellent. In fact, she looks like she's almost done with the flip there, which is really speedy on there, just coming in at under 4 minutes, which is great.
I'm going to leave Andrea on the screen for a bit longer, and we'll go through the list alphabetically.
All right.
So here we have Camilla from Denmark, Catherine from the Netherlands, Claudia from Germany, Dirk from Germany, and Elizabeth from Germany. So the countries we have represented today are Argentina, Austria, Belgium, Czechia, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Sweden, and the UK. So I'm just really amazed every time where people come from and how the popularity of speed puzzling is growing, that we can just bring all these individuals from all these countries together and speed puzzle together. It's so much fun.
It's certainly a United Nations of puzzling right there. It's really fantastic.
And here we see Andrea and Claudia starting on the border. Dirk has pulled out the border pieces, but is not working on them yet, just place them off to the side.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks are going to try to aim for that yellow in the top because it's pretty clear to see and might be a good way to kick off and box things in a little bit whenever they're getting started here. Camilla's looking strong. Catherine doing that rainbow sort of flip, and is now going for, I think, the edge pieces in there. Yep.
So here's Elitsa from Bulgaria, Ellen from the Netherlands, and I'm really excited to see Ellen tonight, this morning. So Ellen has been on the outside of the top 10 for a while, and she knows Jan van Haasteren. Her team came third in the teams competition with 1,000 pieces, but I know that she and Eric have an extensive library of Jan van Haasteren puzzles, so they probably have 500 pieces as well. And I think I'm really hoping that she breaks the top 10 tonight. Why do I say tonight? It's this morning. That she breaks the top 10 today. And yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on her. So from the duchies today, we have Ellen and her sister Inga. We also have Linda and Mariam. But I'm sure the other duchies are kicking themselves that they weren't here. Rowan Prestige, who was participated last Monday, she actually won the individuals. So
Oh
she,
wow. Yeah,
yes.
that's a huge leg up. And if the people on the screen right now can see, Amelia has that whole top edge done. Elodie is close to wrapping it up as well. Andrea Pang has the top edge done, is starting to build some other things. Christian also has that yellow region done. And it seems like some folks are doing this like dead reckoning process where you build a little bit or take a piece and put it right where it's supposed to go. Which is a really incredible tactic for puzzling.
Mm.
And with these Haasteren puzzles is probably very difficult to see and point out exactly. It's really cool.
Yeah, Eric, if you are there, would you please move the camera closer to Ellen? I'd really like to get a closer view of how Ellen is working. We can see that she's not doing a complete border. She is placing pieces randomly over the surface. Yeah, I'd love to get a closer view of Ellen if possible. Also on the screen is Elodie from France, Emilia Korhoden, and Emilia Lieberman from Finland. And Emilia participated in the competition last night and came second. And I'm competing in that competition later today. So it's a bit of an interesting competition. It's run over 2 days, but I am looking forward to participating.
Looks like Elitsa might have that right-hand side wrapped up here as well. Andrea Pang almost has the full border done. There's going to be a lot of trading spaces over the next several minutes as people take different routes to complete this puzzle. Yeah. There's Ellen using a little bit of that dead reckoning to place things where they go and making slight adjustments, finishing up that top edge. You can do it. Top 10's in your hands. We believe in you.
So here we also have FB, that is Fenna from Belgium. And yeah, so Jan van Haasteren puzzles are also quite common in Belgium, I understand. And I think Fenna also participated in the team competitions in the Netherlands. So she is also might be familiar with this one, and we can see she's actually starting with the blackboard. So the blackboard is like this green blocky section at the back, and that's probably like, in terms of sorting, only one of like the 2 objects that you can actually, or 3 colors that you can sort out. I'll do a close-up in a minute. But about 20 minutes in, I realized, oh yeah, there's the blackboard there, and they're all kind of these green pieces, and I felt like, oh man, I should have started earlier on that. So we also have Ellen's sister Inga, who came third in the individuals. Plus we have Iris, the Danish champion, and Jana.
Yeah, it's always tricky with busy puzzles trying to figure out what the best vector of attack is, especially whenever the colors are all over the place and you're not super familiar with the image. And so being able to pick out that chalkboard and then just attack it from the inside out rather than going from the edge is a really cool thing to be able to see early on. You can see Inga has that top part almost complete, building down through. This might, yeah, I'm kind of wondering if people have guesses as to what times we might see today.
So in terms of colors, if you were to sort, you have like this green section here. There's a green block of the blackboard. Then you have like a yellow wall, and you have a gray, yeah, locker, I guess you call, cupboard, and everything else is very mixed and detailed.
Yeah. Yeah, some people, whenever they see busy puzzles like this, they'll treat a lot of those mixed colors kind of like textures. So there's some shirts that jump out to me as I see it that might be good spots to like create an anchor piece while they're inside of that puzzle. We have some guesses for finishing times: 43 minutes, 37:30. Pretty solid guesses. I think this could be a pretty quick one. I'm gonna put a number out there at 36 for myself. 42:50 is a good guess as well. These folks are moving really, really quick throughout here. A lot of 500s have 126 pieces on the edge. So if you see people that have their edge complete as they're coming through, they're already, there's 86 pieces. So they're just under a fifth of the way done once they have that whole edge squared away.
So also in the spotlight right now, we have Janie from the UK, Jenny from Finland, and Jessie from Portugal. And I've kept Ellen, Fenna, and Inga on there as well, that we can track their progress.
And see if the elusive top 10 can be broken. A lot of puzzlers are starting to shift to using these white tables, and you'll see that in different places. It's sort of a thing of whatever's available. A lot of times having a white or a black table gives you pretty strong contrast between the pieces, and then your eye doesn't get quite as lost whenever looking from spot to spot. Of course, if you're really used to the table that you have, like Inga or Ellen with that wood on there, usually not too much of a problem.
So
especially for some of these top puzzlers.
So I noticed that Fenna has her poster in some kind of holder. Looks like maybe a tablet holder. So some are using the poster, others are using their box.
Yeah, it's also fun to see how far tilted different puzzlers want their boxes or the image. A lot of them end up going just flat image, which can sometimes mean that you have to bend down or move around a little bit. And others like to have a little bit of a tilt on their box, which lets you sort of gaze down without necessarily have to flatten out in order to see it. Really, it depends on if you're already sitting and are kind of level with what you're looking at, or if you're going to be standing and moving around a whole lot, and which orientation is a little better for you.
So here we have Yulia from Austria, Carolina from the Ukraine, and Kirsten from Austria. And it looks like Yulia is at a similar level to Inga and Fenna in that they have started in the same position from the top, with the top border and the black board, and some of the yellow wall has been done.
Yeah, that's really, really good start, especially on a chaotic, busy puzzle like this. A lot of folks pulling out that chalkboard, going to town on it. And really, this is where you're going to start feeling that initial that initial burst kind of wearing off. Okay, you've reached the point of you did your flip, you did your first pull, but now what? That's the next big question at this point. At this point in the competition, when we're almost 15 minutes in. Looks like Carolina has that whole border complete. That's going to help box things in a little bit.
So we have Kira from Finland, Kersti from Finland, and Christian from Poland. Now Christian is, he's made a huge block at the top. The blackboard, the whole yellow wall, the grey cupboard. Sorry, sometimes I can't think of the words in English. I want to say shrank. In German we say a shrunk. But he looks to be ahead at the moment. Now he's really exciting to watch some. He did get some of the, so this is his first time participating in a live Jigsaw Jam, but he did get some of the other puzzles from his teammates and posted his times. And the times were like right up there with Alejandro and Kristen. So he's definitely one to keep an eye out as we head towards the Worlds.
Yeah, he's just going back and forth like a typewriter across the top, and then just picking elements and dropping them in. It's really, really fun to watch. And if I remember right, he mostly does big piece counts. So going from 2,000, 1,500, like those huge counts, down to just a 500 is kind of like lifting giant weights and then going to a milk jug. So that might be a good training regimen for him. That's giving him a pretty solid speed boost here.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to Kiara. Kiara has, since she was a teenager, always done these really big puzzles. I mean, I think when she, well, she's since she was a child, she's done larger puzzles. And uh, yeah, I listened to the presentation that she gave at a conference recently, which was fascinating. And yeah, just talking about all these giant puzzles that she was doing, and then to basically go, oh, now we use 500-piece puzzles. Do I even own a 500-piece puzzle? So, and I find it also similar to interesting as what Emilia said in one of her videos about training for the worlds, in that, you know, even if you only ever do 500-piece puzzles, you know, you can get really fast. But likening it to like a runner, if you have a 10-kilometer race, if you only ever run 10 kilometers, you know, you're going to do pretty well when you do your 10K race. However, someone who runs marathons or half marathons, they can still run the 10Ks, but it's going to be a lot more breezier for them, or it's going to be a lot less of a physical burden. So kind of also thinking long distance running, and then like a sprint.
Oh yeah. Well, there's the physical component of those larger puzzles, you know, being hunched over for that long, being able to being able to just like stay with it for well over an hour at high level of focus. But there's also the visual cues of being able to look through the field and be able to find what you want. Puzzles get exponentially more difficult as you add more pieces into them. It's not just a thing of, oh, 1,000-piece puzzle is twice as hard as a 500. It's closer to three to five times more difficult at a baseline, just because you have that many more pieces to search through, and your eyes take a little bit more time. You have to physically move a little bit more. So it's really handy to change the piece count that you're using in order to find either your mechanical speed or your mental strategies that are going to be a little stronger, or just some of your physical well-being in order to really get through some of these tougher ones.
So we also have Lena T from Germany, Linda from the Netherlands, and Madara from Latvia.
And they are all making a really good dent through here. Madara has the entire blackboard, is now going through and getting the bottom of the puzzle squared away before going to the top, taking the road less traveled here, and hopefully that's going to pay off for her. Really cool. A
I
lot
like,
of the other puzzles are still coming in from the top. Oh yeah, go on.
yeah, I like how Linda has pulled out the pink shirts. So of course the kids are all, you know, they've all got different hair colors. Some are wearing hats, different shoes, different clothes. But yeah, I guess, and the floor is gray, and you've got gray tables and brown tables. So yeah, I think also that the pink shirts also jumped out at me when I did it. There's like a couple of, there's the teacher has a pink skirt, and there's 3 kids with pink shirts. So yeah, maybe when you're scanning the gray colorful pieces, that there's these larger pink shirts stand out.
Yeah. A lot of the characters on these Haasteren puzzles are the same from puzzle to puzzle. So if you're familiar with that brand, with that publisher overall, you're going to have an easier time, because if I remember correctly, there's like the octopus that shows up in several places and different characters. So if you kind of have a rough idea of who you're looking for on the pieces, you're going to have an easier time being able to hunt some of those down, which is really an advantage for a lot of the Dutch folks.
Yeah, I just want to say sorry, Lena M from Germany is also on the spotlight right now. Yeah, so regarding the characters of the puzzle, one of the icons you could say is that they always have a shark fin. So there is a shark fin kind of slicing its way through the floor of the puzzle. That seems to be yeah, a recurring theme. There are some other themes. I couldn't actually find a list anywhere. I remember Eric telling me that there's always a shark fin, and there's a particular, well, not in this scene because there's a classroom scene, but in some of the larger 1,000-piece puzzles, there's always a particular lady. And I have seen this particular lady multiple times, even in other puzzles. Yeah, so the brand of the puzzle was Jumbo. They're also the makers of the Falcon puzzle that we did last week. And yeah, everyone commented. Yeah, we had so many comments that people really enjoyed the quality and the piece cut from last week. So it is very similar. Also similar if you've done a Vazgij puzzle or Vazge, however you pronounce it in your country. They are also from the same brand, but Jan van Haasteren is essentially a brand of its own. It was started by him himself, but he is in his 80s now. So from what I understand, there are also other illustrators who are producing the more recent works and basically following his style, continuing his legacy under the brand name. But this one says on the box, artwork by Jan van Haasteren, edition 2001. So this is an original work.
So we're going into the throwback, the vintage group on this one. So a lot of experienced puzzles that sort of read up on their puzzle history and go through the catalogs. They may be a little rewarded through here. Somebody mentioned that there's usually a woman with a flower hat, and Sinterklaas often makes an appearance through some of these, which is really fun. Christian seems to be in the lead. I think Andrea Pang might be going piece for piece with them. It's a little hard to tell since they're taking slightly different routes. Pang also has this wild acceleration in the second half of her puzzling because of the method that she uses of this dead reckoning, which is really, really wonderful. So this is going to be a tight race.
So on the spotlight right now, we have Maria's cat who's taking a nap. Yeah. So yeah, fluffy and just relaxing on the pieces. So at some point, the cat may have to be disturbed to retrieve the pieces under her fluffy fur. Yeah, so we have Magda from Poland, Maggie from Austria, Maria Roskanova, but it's actually her daughter today, Timia from Slovakia, and Maria and her lovely cat from Sweden.
It's a well-known fact that cats are a pretty standard obstacle in a lot of jigsaw puzzling. It's sort of the water trap in golf, if it were. A lot of times people have to shut the door to keep cats from getting in and trying to eat the pieces. In this case, seems to be pretty calm, just taking a little nap, which is kind of the best case scenario when you're in a high pressure situation.
So we're at the 24-minute mark. Looks like Inga and Christian are about halfway through. Also on the spotlight, we have Mariam from the Netherlands, Mariana from Portugal, Marie from... Sorry, where is Marie? Marie from Norway, and Mary, who I think she said her name is Marila, is from Germany. And if we take a look at Mariana, it looks like a mess. So Mariana has quite a different approach. There's no border. We have some piles at the furthest away from her, but like tiny islands. So it's very interesting. So possibly she's doing like the pick and place method, or she's just building random islands. We'll see how that works out. Very interesting.
Yeah, I've seen some puzzlers do this sort of chaos field where they dump the pieces and then they build out of exactly what's there. And it looks almost like magic the way that the puzzles come together, where everything is sort of scattered and nothing's working, and then all of a sudden it forms into place. And it's because they're taking a piece from where it is in the mess to exactly where it's going to go, and then making these little clumps and then joining them all kind of in the last second. Which is really cool. The additional sort piles there are gonna be fun for her to dig out through.
So we have Melinda from the UK, Monica from Austria, Mooney from Germany, and Netta from Finland. I need to move a bit faster. Yeah, having so many people, it does take a
Yeah.
while. Somebody asked to see Iris. We will get back to Iris later. It's just that I do want to show everyone at least once. We go through the list alphabetically, and then we will start to narrow down on the top contenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my
Oh,
husband who did the graphics, he does all the statistics of the graphics, and he was like, this week, he said, man, 78 people take so much more longer than like 55. So having this 20 extra people does just, add extra
yeah.
complexity, but I hope we are able to integrate it and to still offer the same level of
Yeah. And Netta's looking really strong in here. Has a lot of that fridge knocked away, most of the edge, and it looks like building little chunks out through the middle. Really, really cool.
So Nicola Giordani, that's actually Chiara. So she was joined a bit late, but she has also, doing a bit later. If possible, could we just move the screen a bit more to your puzzle, Chiara? Thank you. Perfect. Then we have Olivia from Poland and Peter from the UK and Ricarda from Germany. So
And Nicola's looking really strong. The Polish contingency is looking really, really strong heading into Worlds. They have a really good set of team that all individually are fast. Together they're really quick. It's they're definitely ones to watch. Looks like Peter has that whole edge, and Ricotta is doing fantastic. And this is not an easy puzzle, by the way. You're going to see some people finish quick and some people finish a little slower, but really it's about you and the clock, right? So keep shooting for your PR no matter where you're at in this.
So we have Richard from the UK, Rika from Finland, and Sana Susoloto and Sana Varvas from Finland as well. When I look at Inga, I mean, it looks like Inga is almost finished. I feel like I need to check in on her sister. I'm afraid I'm going to miss someone, but I'm nearing the end of the list. We just have so many people.
No, it's really exciting. Rika's looking really strong. Richard has that bonus sunbeam just beaming down, giving a little more light onto things.
Could be a disadvantage having so much glare on the screen. There's Richard from the UK, Siobhan from Ireland, Smaranda. I forget where Smaranda is from. Is she from? I think she lives in the Netherlands. And Sophie from Belgium. Yeah, so a lot of people are starting at the top. So we see that Siobhan, Smaranda, and Sophie all have the top wall fitted out and are working their way towards the more chaotic section in the middle. It's 29 minutes. I'm just gonna check in on Alan and Finna just very quickly. Not that I miss something.
There's always so much to see in a lot of the events. The judges are juggling.
Oh, Alan's almost finished.
So... Oh wow, let's go!
It's between Inga and Alan, sisters.
The match off of the century. Winner gets the bragging rights. And we'll probably hold it over the other's head for weeks to come. Oh wow.
Okay, we also have Stephanie and Steffi, but Inga 10 pieces, Alan maybe 20 pieces.
Yeah, definitely being connected to these puzzles has paid off for them on this one.
So we also have Tanya from Germany, Taya from Finland, and Tobias from Sweden on screen right now. But it's going to be a showdown between Alan and Inga. Here, the experience and the familiarity is really going to pay off for them. So they took completely different approaches. I mean, Inga was a lot more... Oh no, Inga's screen froze for a moment. Inga started from the top, worked her way down. Alan was all over the place, but they all come. Okay, 5 pieces Inga, 8 pieces Alan.
Dig deep. We're rooting for both of you. Oh, wow. You can see the difference of going one hand at a time or trying to feed one hand and putting the other piece in. Oh, if you have nails, start biting them, folks, because this is going to be a close one.
And
Oh boy.
Inga is done. 31 minutes.
Congratulations. Oh, and
Wow.
Alan just right behind.
Oh, done.
Oh, well done.
So 2 different approaches, but same result. Oh, well done. I'm just gonna, yeah, so they were both at 10 minutes 33 on my on the timestamp. We'll have to check exactly which second that was. And yeah, we haven't even reached the end of the list. So I'm now at the V's. We're at Verena, Veronica, Vesna, Vicky, Zach, and Zana.
That was very, very well done.
And they did, I mean, Ellen did post that she had a hint about what it was about and she was going to practice. So obviously they do have this box size at home. I think it was a mystery for so many people because, yeah, Jan van Haasteren 500 pieces is not a typical speed puzzling thing outside of the Netherlands. So it was, yeah, stumping a lot of people what that could be, but all the more surprise. Wow, so that
And
was was that possibly our fastest individual time so far?
I think so. That
I
certainly looks like it was sub 33.
yeah, I mean, I know we've had like 37 minutes and 39 minutes for individuals. We had 27 minutes, but that was for a pair. So that possibly the fastest individual finishes so far.
Wow, that's very, very well done. That's not easy to do. Even if you are familiar with the puzzle, being able to get your time down under 33 minutes is not an easy task at all. So that's truly phenomenal for both of them. If they've seen it before, if they've practiced it, that's really, really that's an impressive that's an impressive feat just across the board to be able to pull that off. And everybody else is playing for third here. I think there's fewer people that are as familiar with this puzzle as those two, though.
Yeah, so I'll just say that I'll just check it the last 6 people we have in the alphabetical list, and then we'll narrow it down to the who might be third because I don't want to miss third. Verena is from Austria, Veronica from Germany, Vesna Finland, Vicky from Hungary, Zach from the UK, and Zana from Latvia. So I've got the first hint from SJ to keep an eye on Fenna. So Vicky was also doing pretty well. I'm going to head back up to the top. Yeah. Let's check on Andrea, Fenna, and the Amelias. Somebody else to see Iris.
The person from the UK is looking really strong. And this is where having that border in to sort of box things in and build targets pays off over time, which is really great.
So I can't see Iris in the list. Did she maybe did her connection get lost? I don't see it. She's not on the list up alphabetically under I. Okay, there she is. Maybe I just went blind for a moment. And of course, I wanted to see Fenna as well. So we have Andrea, Fenna, the Amelias, Iris.
Yeah, both Amelias are looking pretty strong here. It's a little hard to tell sometimes what has been built and what is placed with the way that they puzzle from time to time, because they'll be working on stuff, and if it's not fitting, they'll leave it right where it is, and that can sometimes block the box a little bit, where it makes it hard to see. But it also is a thing of, hey, I can come right back to this and throw it in as soon as I see it, and makes it where you don't have to transfer as much. So it's a little high risk, high reward on that.
Yeah, so it looks like Andrea maybe has about 50 pieces, Fenna about 30 pieces.
Hmm. Julia there looking pretty strong. Christian seems to have the initial burst of speed that he had, getting that top edge and the greens in there, seems to be slowing him down a little bit in the later half of this. Um, just because this is the busiest part, and that'll trip everybody up. Um,
Well, I know that Christian is very good at landscape scenes, so he's at big blocks of color, a lot of things like skies, sunsets, water areas. He's very has very fast times on those where others may struggle, but it looks like I mean at the top he did the block colors and now he's got the more chaotic section to do.
Yeah. A lot of times it just comes down to what is the puzzle and is it to your to your advantage or not, right? Like there's not necessarily a best puzzler at all things so much as a best puzzler for that particular puzzle in the moment. So you'll see that a lot of times where uh, people in the top trade spots back and forth depending on what comes out of the box.
Okay, so we
Oh
see
yeah.
that Tobias has about, yeah, 40 pieces left. Vicky a bit more.
Yeah.
And Mariana, her picture is taking shape.
Yeah, and that Mariana's that's sort of what I was talking about of that order built out of chaos, where all of a sudden it kind of comes together, and there's a lot of holes that she can then see and fill in. Tobias doing this cool thing where sometimes he'll feed pieces into his left hand and then ditch them to his right in order to place, rather than just doing things one by one. Um, kind of makes a nice holding spot so he doesn't have to keep going back to the pile right away. Uh, Andrea Pang there using a little bit of a Pez dispenser on her left hand. You'll see that she kind of pushes the piece out and then she tries to drop it right wherever it goes. Um, it's really fun to watch puzzlers offhands whenever they're going through the process. Because a lot of times people will puzzle just one-handed. Kristen Love, famous for that, several years ago, and then somebody went, "Hey, why not use two hands?" It never occurred to her. Um, and so now she's picked up a little bit of speed figuring out how to use the non-dominant hand. Changing things around a little bit. There's Tobias, there's Nicola has it's fun to see some puzzlers end up with these uh, large gaps throughout their puzzle as opposed to a bunch of individual fill-in slots. Um, and depending on your style in terms of how easy it is for you to see giant chunks of the puzzle versus individual elements, you'll end up seeing those gaps come through. Um, a lot of times, puzzlers that are better with finding objects or large chunks of color, they'll see that come through. And it looks like FB finished.
Fena Bontier from Belgium. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Third place. Yay.
Fantastic job. And that looks like it was in the sub 40-minute cutoff, which is not easy on these busy puzzles.
So somebody asked what my time was. My time was 1 hour and 56 seconds. So I was quite pleased for that time. I know I can do it faster. I actually did it we were actually at a camp in Switzerland with our church friends, and we were in this wooden hut which had quite bad lighting, and we had these big wooden tables. I don't even know if I had a puzzle board with me. I think I had my small puzzle board with me. So I couldn't fit all the pieces on the puzzle board, and then I had like this brown grainy table behind, and there was people playing board games next to me, and there were people chatting, and it was a very quite yeah, very busy environment and bad lighting. But I was pleased with my time for 1 hour, so I'm keen to do it again and see how I do in better conditions.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can crack an hour. It's always fun to know that no matter how you puzzle, you can sort of see a couple of things here or there what take off your time a little bit. Like maybe it was a little too loud, and that was a kind of a distraction. That can cost a minute overall, right? Or even if it's just wonky lighting, you can kind of estimate how much that affected your puzzling on there. Tobias looking pretty strong through here. Nicola wrapping up. Yeah, there's this is where you start to feel like really that fatigue is going to start setting in after the 40-minute mark of okay, I just need to wrap up. And your eyes start going a little cross, seeing the same thing on different pieces and trying to discern what is what. Um, and some people at this stage will resort to shape sorting if they start getting a little too waterlogged. That way you're still making progress in a way that's easier for your eye to see. Even though you're not putting pieces in, you're setting yourself up for being able to be successful a little bit further down the line.
So we have a big pack coming through,
Mm.
who have about 50 pieces left. So we have like Maggie, Linda, Saka, Jessie, Amelia's, Vicky, probably about 30 pieces, Tobias 20, Christian 20, Andrea 15.
Yeah, this is where you're going to see a lot of the folks that are less familiar with this particular puzzle type start screaming into the finish here, for these other top puzzlers.
So the time is 43 minutes, so still plenty of time. I mean, normally we're just seeing like the first the first finishes coming through now, but we have so many who are going to be finishing in the next, well, under 50 minutes. I think we're going to see some really great times under 50 minutes today.
Yeah. Well, and being able to finish a puzzle under 50 minutes, that's about 10 pieces per minute. That's not a easy pace to keep at the whole time through. So it's really phenomenal to be able to do that. Oh wow. And you can see some people are being a little slower and more direct with how they're moving and trying to be very precise with putting the pieces in. And then you have others that are kind of floating around all over the place, trying to take a piece and put it in as many different spots as they can before it's exactly right. Andrea Pang looks like she might be in the last 15 pieces or so inside of here. Christian looks like he's in 20 or so. Tobias might be at about 25. Yeah, this is going to be a really fun finish.
Yeah, and Jessie is coming up behind. So, yes. I mean, it takes a different approach for this one with such a busy image and so many faces to kind of gather your thoughts and go about it like logically. And
And Andrea Pang
Andrea's done.
finishes. There we go.
Well done.
Well
Fourth place to
done.
Andrea.
Well done, Andrea. And that's not easy because these Haasteren puzzles they don't often make their way over to the U.S. So being able to hang with the top players, not knowing the puzzle all that well, not knowing the brand all that well, that's really impressive. Oh wow.
And Tobias' final pieces.
Yep, going in one by one.
So Tobias came in first place last week. So top 6 finish for Tobias, unless somebody sneaks in there that we haven't noticed. And he's
And he finishes this.
All right, so I think this is a good moment to bring in our first place champion for day by seconds, Inga.
Hello there.
Were you looking for me?
Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Well, congratulations. So we've broken the third place. I checked it last week and we worked out there were 5 times that you've placed third in the Euro Jigsaw Jam, and yeah, now you've got the first place. So congratulations. What
Yeah,
were
thank
your
you.
thoughts when you saw the box like wrapped up? Like, did you immediately recognize it as a Jan van
Yes.
Haasteren?
Yes, for us it's a very recognizable box. So Ella and I have been predicting what the puzzle would be, and we were speculating, and in the end we did decide it was going to be this one. So we've been practicing. So it's nice that our prediction was correct, because I think Emilia thought it was another one. So, and she's like clairvoyant when it comes to the puzzles. So
Yeah, so how do you go about like when you have such a busy image, what is your approach? Because even the 1,000 piece puzzles, regardless of 1,500, there's just a lot of people and a lot of colors going on. Like how do you mentally look at the image and decide where you're going to start?
I think usually we do like a pattern recognition. Like you have these shirts also in this one. There's like all these people are like 4-5 pieces of the same color shirt. So it's just like, oh, this one has red and yellow stripes, and you collect all those and you place them already where they should go, or at least that's what I do. I always start with the border for these puzzles, so just that I can put the pieces where they are supposed to go. And then, yeah, it's just recognizing stuff. And I think I have like quite a attention to detail. So I see really small things and I'm like, oh, this really tiny thingy. Oh, that's also a part of the
And
dog.
Vicky
And then
finished.
yeah.
Didn't mean to run out of Vicky finishes here.
Yeah. So and how many Jan van Haasteren puzzles do you have?
I don't have that much compared to my sister. Let's see, I have like 18,000 piece puzzles and 500 piece puzzles of Jan van Haasteren. So, but yeah, like when you join in these competitions, you always get more. So every time we join the Dutch Championship, you get like one for the preliminary rounds and then one for the final. So it's yeah, the collection grows very fast.
Yeah. And can you tell us a bit about Jan van Haasteren? Because I just found the information a bit vague on the internet. Like maybe it's a lot more well known in the Dutch speaking internet or from word of mouth. But all I could see was that he's over 80 years old. I couldn't see how many puzzles are part of the
Oh,
collection.
they produce so many puzzles. So now it's a studio. So there's, I think, 5 people drawing the puzzles. And oh, they produce so many puzzles a year. I don't even know how many, but there's multiple 1,000-piece puzzles a year. And yeah, there are so many. And Jan van Haasteren himself has been drawing for so long. So yeah, the collection is huge. So usually at the Dutch Championship, Jan is also there, or if someone else from the studio has drawn the picture, then they invite the artist as well. So that's always nice. They tell about the puzzles and the jokes they put in, because the Jan van Haasteren puzzles always have these little jokes in there. So that's, yeah. Usually when you speed puzzle these, you don't see them, but then they're nice to look at afterwards. And it's like, oh, hey, this is kind of funny. Yeah, and what you mentioned about repeating characters, they are not that often there in the 500-piece puzzles, but for the 1,000-piece puzzles, they are there. And then you also have each artist has their own extras. So sometimes it's like, oh, these 2 guys, they are always in the puzzles by Rob Derks. And then, so they all have their own recognizable elements in the puzzles.
Yeah,
so I think like the fat lady with the hat, that's actually Jan van Haasteren's mother-in-law. And yeah, so there's all these types of figures there.
Yeah, Jim, did you have any questions for Inga?
Yeah, I guess the first question is, seeing as how you beat your sister, in what way are you going to hold this over her?
Well, actually, that's not fair because on our first attempt she was faster. So I don't
okay.
think I should hold this over. She told me just now that she dropped the piece and then she went to pick it up and then she dropped it again. So I
Oh
was
no.
like, well, for next time, don't drop your pieces, and then then she would have won probably.
Yeah, those 3 seconds always make the difference.
Yeah,
How
it
many
was
how many
just a small difference.
how many times did you guys practice the same puzzle?
I mean, we did this one. I think both of us did it like twice this week.
Oh wow.
I think we looked at our first attempts compared to the others, but that still would have placed us. Yeah, Fenna was also fast, but then we still would have made top 3. I'm not sure if it was Fenna's first time because she's also one of the participants from the Dutch Championship. She did say she didn't practice it this week, so.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Oh,
Well, well, thank you so much, and yeah, enjoy your first place win, and
Yeah.
of course celebrating with your sister later. So yeah, thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So we've had a few wins, a few places since we left. So first
yeah.
place Inga Sino, second place Ellen, third place Fenna, fourth place Andrea, fifth place Tobias, and sixth place Vicky. Seventh place Kiara, eighth place Iris, ninth place Mariana, and 10th place Christian. And 11th
Christian
place Saka.
Christian being able to make the top 10 on a first attempt is fantastic. Zarkov just behind him, really a few seconds here or there. Whenever you're at this pace, it is always can sometimes feel a little like you missed out, but a lot of times that just that can even come down to how many pieces were already flipped whenever you poured all the pieces out onto the table. You know, an extra 20 pieces that are face down end up being an extra 10 seconds on your time that you have to overcome. So even when it's real tight like that, know that a little bit of randomness is played into there. But we're still rooting for you. Maggie R looks like Maggie's using this tiny little table. I'm not sure if that's designed to be a regulation table for Worlds, or if that's like a TV tray table. But it's really cool and kind of dangerous to be using something that small where the pieces can slide off all over the place.
And Maggie is done.
Hey,
Yay! Possibly
congratulations.
Maggie is on holiday at the moment, and she's using the random table in the hotel room. So I think
It is interesting how puzzlers make do with whatever tables they have. And I know I've seen a lot of people having puzzle boards that they'll take with them out on hikes to do puzzles while they're out, or even puzzling in pools on like floating boards there. It's really fascinating.
Carolina Yanko, your camera is turned off. If you could please check that.
And Steffi is finished as well. Congratulations. And now we're closing in on about the 55-minute mark. We're rooting for all of you. There's it's very rare for puzzlers to try to root against each other. You always want to play against everybody on their best day.
Oh, I'm confused. We have two Steffies. Is that the same Steffi? Because I had the hint, Steffi is almost finished. Then I clicked on Steffi and I see there's a whole bunch of pieces there, but possibly. Oh, there we go. We have two Steffies there. I thought they were just two from the same account, but one Steffi has finished, and the other one still has a while to go. But we're only at 55 minutes, so if you've still got a chaotic mess of pieces, there's more than an hour left, and definitely very high chances of everyone finishing today.
Yeah. And we're gonna have another pack of people start to file in here. The Amelia's looking pretty strong. Lena looking good. Sophie, yeah, Sophie has a couple handfuls of pieces left, and so does Linda. And Linda has a, I think, what looks like a piece of poster board over top of her table, and that's similar to what you'll see at Worlds, is a kind of poster board on top of a table cover. So it's good practice to get used to that tactile feel of how much bounce back you're going to have once you're on that bigger stage.
So SJ is sending me lots and lots of hints, but I can't switch to those people yet because I feel like Linda is just about to finish. I don't want to lose Linda. Sarah Christensen is about to finish, so I'll wait till they're done before I switch up the screen again. Last piece for Linda. There we go.
And hey, fantastic. Congratulations. Really, once you're in these busy sections, being able to just finish feels like a win. And hopefully for many of you, this is a really good time for these busy puzzles.
And Sarah Christensen is done.
Hey, congratulations.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just going to do a recap of the time.
Yeah, as Michelle pulls that up, looks like Lena's going strong. Elodie has a couple handfuls left. So does Sophie. It's gonna be a tight run in here for the top 15 and the top 20. Let's go, everybody.
So Christian was 10, Saka 11th, Maggie 12th, Steffi 13th, Linda 14th, Sarah 15th, Elodie 16th.
Congratulations. Yeah, you'll see as people wrap up different strategies. Are they using one hand to very accurately pick a piece up, rotate it, drop it where it goes, or are they using two hands to kind of keep one placing and the other feeding?
And Sophie has also just finished. Well done. Well, Sophie's in Belgium, so yeah, so the Dutch and the Belgians did well today. So Ellen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Ellen. I guess the first question is, how awesome is it to be able to go sub 33 on a puzzle?
Well, I've definitely never done that on a puzzle I hadn't seen before. But
Well, there's very few puzzlers that can, like, being able to place things exactly where they need to go and pick out what you want at speed. That's really difficult. But even at that, is that one of your faster, like, 500 times overall, even having seen it before?
I usually don't do that many puzzles more often, but it's definitely I think there are only two puzzles I've ever done faster. One of which was Jan van Haasteren. I did 4 years ago for 10 times in 2 days to see if I could make it under 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
It was years ago.
Were you able to get it under 30?
Yes, I think at the 8th or 9th try. It was 29 something. But this one I hadn't done so often.
Being able to break 30 on any kind of 500 puzzle, that's a huge accomplishment, and then your body gets to feel that speed and keep going after that. But how about you walk us through a little bit of how you approached this particular beast of a puzzle?
Well, I think pretty similar to my sister actually, but because I don't know, it just works Well, when we puzzle together, we always put the recognizable pieces in between us because we puzzle in such a similar way. So just start with the border, or at least most of the border, because always when flipping I miss half of the border pieces, but or not half, but too many. And then just find the recognizable people and put them immediately at the right spot at the puzzle, because that makes all the grayish, like the chairs and the tables, in the end, it makes it so much easier if you have everything at the right spot immediately, because you can see when it connects in places where you would otherwise never see that it would connect.
No, that's really cool. There's a U.S. puzzler, Becca Taylor, who calls it lowering the noise, when you can kind of clear things out a little bit to be able to see things a little bit easier. Do you always separate pieces like to the right, or do you go up and down, split?
No, I think since a few weeks I've started separating pieces all to the right. I first did it to the left, but it took me. I'm completely right-handed, so my left hand is completely useless. So it took me. It was just extra distance for every piece. I had to cross a little extra distance to get them from the left to the right. So when I think a month ago I started putting them on the right, and I changed a few other things, but then I really improved. So I think in May I did a post on Instagram with my top 5 fastest times, and since then I think in the last month I had 8 times that were faster than the number 3 on that list at that time. So it definitely helped me.
Those little optimizations go a long way, right? Because sort of like what you're saying, if it takes you an extra half a second to grab each piece, and that's 500 pieces or more, that's easily 3 to 6 minutes. That adds up pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
I have a question, Alan. Do you have a favorite puzzle from Jan van Haasteren?
I think I just cherish the one that I did like 4 years ago, where it was a camping puzzle, and that's special to me because it was the first time I actually found that speed puzzling could be really speedy, and that was way before we seriously speed puzzled. So that one's definitely a favorite, and I really like one that's called the Art Market or something like that. I'm not sure what it's called in English, but that's a puzzle I really liked as a 1,000 piece.
And what details, which details or like little characters or repeating themes do you like, or like kind of make you smile as you're piecing it together?
I really don't see any details. I mean, Inge sees many more. So the more detailed the puzzle is, like the bigger the difference is between Inge and me. So this one is relatively not so busy compared to other Jan van Haasteren puzzles. I know it sounds strange, but the characters are quite big, and that's always in my favor. So there are like only 2 or 3 Jan van Haasteren puzzles I ever did faster than my sister in the first try, and this is one of them because the characters are quite large. So I like everything with larger characters.
And
I only like characters when they consist of at least 6 pieces.
okay. And how was it as you were children growing up? Are these the puzzles that you got that your family did, or were there other puzzles that you maybe did more often?
I don't know. I don't remember puzzling that much really. So my grandmother had a puzzle of the Netherlands that I did a million times. Not so much at home. I think I started puzzling when I got sick. So I had a bone tumor like 15 years ago or something like that. And then I got a Jan van Haasteren puzzle by mail, and from a school class that had made drawings for me, and then every day an envelope would arrive with drawings and 4 pieces, and that was kind of one of the start of my puzzling adventure. I couldn't do anything for months, so I puzzled so much at that time. All Jan van Haasteren, because that was what we had and what I could borrow from friends and family.
When they sent you those 4 pieces, were they the 4 pieces that went together, or were they 4 random pieces?
Completely random. So it took months before I could piece the first pieces together. It was not that. Yeah. So about 5 years ago, we did the same for a friend of us that was in our Dutch championship team, and she got sick, and then we did that, and that was a puzzle I made before, so I could make very nice packages that would, well, let her put in something at least every day and let the puzzle grow in a more useful way.
Oh, that's so cool. I know a lot of people have done, chess by mail, that kind of thing, but puzzle by mail is a new frontier, I think.
Yeah.
Michelle, that might be a thing to do, is just send out a piece every couple of days. See who can piece it together. And it's a challenge on the mail carriers at that point.
Well, I know there's here in Germany they have like this fun thing that they do, uh, kind of like a secret Santa thing, where you send it's a mixture of an advent calendar and a secret Santa. So within the puzzle forum or one of these Facebook groups, everybody who gets involved, they get the name of someone, and then they take a puzzle. I don't know how many pieces, maybe 300, maybe 500, possibly 1,000 pieces, and they basically divide that puzzle into 24 days or however many like little packages you should have, and then everybody gets a package from someone, and every day they have like a certain amount of pieces that they can build, and then by the end of the month they have a complete puzzle. And I thought that was a nice idea, but that was also really sweet what the those school kids did for you. And yeah, 4 pieces is quite small. That could take quite a while, but
Yeah.
really thoughtful. Yeah, I like that.
Some went missing, so it's it's a almost complete puzzle.
Yeah. So yeah, so you broke the top 10, you reached your goal, and second place to your sister by seconds. I'm really interested
That's
to
fine.
know
That's fine.
how
I'm
many
always
seconds.
behind. And even getting this close is great, and it actually makes me especially happy that my first try on this puzzle would also have been a very good time. So I think that's for me, that's nicer actually than doing well on a puzzle that you've seen the day before. So
Hmm. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, you can go and celebrate now, and I'm sure you'll have a lot to chat with Inga about. But you have to watch the video, because actually you had quite different strategies up front. It looked quite different. So yeah, you'll have to go back and review your different styles for this puzzle.
oh, I definitely will watch it.
All
Right.
right,
Have a nice day.
thanks very much,
Thanks.
Alan.
Oh wow, it's really cool to have a family that like puzzles together, and also a community that wants to puzzle with you a whole bunch. That's gotta be just truly wonderful. And I know there's a lot of puzzle communities that are building up all over the place, um, which helps every individual just have more fun puzzling, but it also just ties people together a little bit more, which is really great.
So I'm just going to recap where we have. So Allergy was 16th, Sophie 17th, Rika 18th, Emilia Lieberman 19th, Lena M 20th, Emilia Korhonen 21st, Janie 22nd, Olivia 23rd, Julia 24th, Farina 25th, Arcadius 26th, 27th is Jenny, 28th Elitza, 29th Veronica, 30th Jessie, 31st Lena T, 32nd Smaranda, 33rd Magda, 34th Alexander. So we're about halfway through. So half the amount of participants have completed their puzzles. And we're at 1 hour and 11 minutes.
And we just had another dash of people finish very quickly. With Ricarda, Shaban, Zach, and Netta all wrapped up here in quick succession. And you'll often see that in results where there's sort of packs of puzzlers that complete at slightly different rates. And there's sort of a standard deviation of maybe about 20 seconds between some packs, and then slightly larger outside of that. And a lot of people are in the close here. It's really fun to see which individuals do things more one-handed and which ones use two hands going into that final blitz.
Yeah, and when you do finish, please go over to YouTube and write us a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought of the puzzle. So Andrea and Rika have mentioned. So Andrea said that she loved it. Fun puzzle style that I don't see too often in the US. Will be fun to pass around to other speed puzzlers here to try. And Rika says, not the best finish for me. She dropped some pieces, then she had a missing piece in the bag, but got it in the end.
Yeah, those surprise missing pieces that are in a bag are really tricky to try to pin out, especially sometimes whenever you crumple the bag in excitement on the way out and you're like, all right, I got it, and then it's somewhere deep inside one of the recesses of that crumpled bag. But just being able to make sure that you have it so that way you can do this puzzle later and enjoy it again is the important part at the end of the day.
Oh, Tanya, just 2 pieces left.
There you go. You can do it. This is exciting.
Well done, Tanya. Okay, we got that on finished. And Zana, 5 pieces left.
All right. If you're getting close, dig deep. Try to keep it under 1:15. We're all rooting for you. A lot of times, whenever there's fewer pieces left, individuals can accelerate and get closer to like 14, 15 pieces in a minute squared away.
So I think this would be a good moment to bring in Fenna.
Yeah.
Fenna, if you are still there. Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations on 3rd place today.
Thank you.
What were your thoughts when you saw the puzzle?
Yeah, I was happy. I was already hoping for Jan van Haasteren, so I have a lot of them. So and I practiced a lot of 500 piece puzzles this week, but this I didn't. So
yeah, and so you've been in a championship in a competition using this style of puzzle before, haven't you?
yeah, I'm Dutch and I'm Belgium. So I competed in the teams with in the Dutch competition and also in the Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So and in the Belgian, it's also Jan van Haasteren.
So in the Belgium competition, they also use Jan van Haasteren.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So you have like a double experience there.
Yeah.
And is Jan van Haasteren something also that you've just gotten to know since you got into speed puzzling, or have you known these types of puzzles since you were a child?
Yeah, I already had one since I was very young. So it's in Holland, it's the most familiar known puzzle.
Mm-hmm. And
So
yeah, and so what was the hardest part of the puzzle for you?
at the end, all the blue, all the trousers, and I was going very slow on that for my feeling.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when you feel like you're getting a little stuck?
Yeah,
when
I try
you're
to do
speed
something
puzzling.
else, but sometimes there isn't anything else to do. So just try to move on.
I do the same thing when it comes to chores that I don't want to do. I'm like, I don't want to do it, so I'll just do anything else for a little bit. But then you end up having to come back to it sooner or
Yeah,
later.
yeah, that's true.
Do
Yeah.
you try to when you're going through, do you try to plan out which parts, which sections of the puzzle you're going to work on when, or do you more see a thing and just work on it right away?
Yeah, I see a thing and I try to do it right away. It's quite similar as Ellen and Inge said. I just sort by color and put the piece already in the right place.
Is there a puzzle training dojo in Holland that everybody goes to?
No, I don't think
Because
so.
you're
But
approaching it the same way.
yeah, we do have an app group with all Dutch puzzlers. So maybe there we get some of the tips.
Are you going to the Worlds this year?
Yeah, yes, I am. Yeah,
Hmm. And are you
first
also
time. Yeah,
participating in the pairs and teams?
not in the teams. We don't have a team partner, so only in the pairs and the singles.
Hmm. Okay, so
Well, if you
go ahead.
I was gonna say if you want to, I think that on the world's website they have a find pairs and find teams link.
Okay.
And they
Well,
may
maybe
be
we'll do
from
so.
your country, but if you're there, might as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that's true. When we're there, it's nice to do all the categories. Yeah, I'll see.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing you in Trier because I was just doing
Yeah.
the participant list for the Trier, and then I saw that you were participating with Rude.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
husband. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, and he's a speed puzzler as well.
yeah, yeah. He's a bit slower than me, but he's speed as well. Yeah, and we're teaming up in Trier with two of the winners of the teams in from Holland, the puzzle Poezen. So it's a mixed team in Trier.
Yeah, we're going to have
Well,
a
that'll
lot
be
of Dutch and a lot of Belgians. So of course the biggest group is from Germany, but yeah, I'm really excited to see how many Dutch and Belgians are making their way to Trier. Yeah, so I'm been doing the list, the
We're
participant
all
list.
hoping for Jan van Haasteren in Trier, of course.
Oh, well, I did just post on Instagram on Friday that it's going to be Cherry Patsy. So individuals and pairs are using a Cherry Patsy puzzle, and of course the team event, which I announced earlier, is with Eurographics. So sorry, no Jan van
Too
Haasteren.
bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks very much, Fenna. And
Okay, thank you.
yeah, you've been in several competitions, so it's nice for you to not only make the top 10, but now to make the top 3.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
well
that's nice.
done.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh man. Yeah, there's a couple of comments from the chat. Zach, this was Zach's first time doing a Haasteren. Very well done to be able to get through that. I saw those puzzles for the first time several months ago, and my eyes just glazed over like donuts trying to figure out how to even approach those. So to be able to put in a sub hour 20 time on that is phenomenal. And some people are asking about what the missing pieces rules are. At the Worlds, it's a case where if you have a missing piece, they'll stop the clock and they'll give you 10 seconds to find the piece. And then your time that they stopped plus 10 seconds if you didn't find it is your final time. If you find it before that deficit, then that's your time. So if you find it in 7 seconds, it's that base plus 7. But they'll only ding you for a maximum of 10 seconds per missing piece that you have inside of there. And Amelia's pointing out that every minute counts. That she got knocked out by the country filter by about a minute. Yeah, and I actually expect this year that the deviation inside of there is going to be much smaller this year. We're having a big increase in the number of high level puzzlers showing up at national events, especially at EJJ. Like, just the level of competition in the past couple of months has gone up pretty dramatically. So I would fully expect that top times there are going to be really close, and every couple of seconds is going to matter quite a bit. So keep practicing. Everybody wants to make it into finals, and I'm rooting for everybody to make it into finals, even though I know that's not actually possible in any meaningful way. But it's really about doing your best. I always we have a saying that if you do your best on your day and somebody else beats you time wise, then they deserved that win, and that's okay. But that doesn't take away how good you did on that puzzle. It doesn't take away how well you did on your time, which is really, really great.
I just want to see if we can interview Emilia Korhonen. I've been trying to interview her for some weeks now, and something always comes up in between. So I see that she's still in the meeting. So Emilia, if you are there, I would love to have a chat. Yay, there you are.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, so tell us, what did you think of today's puzzle?
It really wasn't my type of puzzle. I would like more that puzzle inside that puzzle, what they are doing.
Yeah, because I remember reading a comment once from you that you love the nature editions. So you really love like the
Yeah.
big expanses of skies, the trees, the flowers, and the water. What do you like about the landscape scenes so much? Because many people find them the most difficult.
Well, I don't like to watch the image, so I just do and watch pieces. So I think that kind of PC puzzle is very hard for me, because you have to watch the image also.
Yeah, there's so much detail there.
Yeah.
So I saw on Instagram that you have a baby. Is that correct? You have a child?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a toddler.
Yeah, a toddler. So that's tricky, because if I think back to the time when my kids were toddlers, like I just, yeah, small pieces are like a danger, and you want to keep them away. How do you find training for like the Finn Championships or training for the Worlds when you have a toddler? Like, do you have a separate room where you puzzle, or do you only puzzle during nap time, or how do you manage that?
Well, usually I do puzzles when Helmi is sleeping, so that doesn't work if she's awake.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that is just like pets, the small kids. Yeah, you have to keep them separate. So I noticed at the Worlds that you'll be competing in an international team with
Yeah,
SJ and Kati Right. Is that correct? Kati Raina and her sister.
yeah,
Yeah.
Katja and
Yeah.
Christine.
How
Yeah.
did that come about? Did you meet last year and say, hey, let's do this next year, or do you contact each other later?
Well, we were competing last year, but there were Alma in our team, now Christine. So, well, we thought that was fun to compete together, and we want to compete also this year.
Yeah, so you and SJ, you had a mixed team, and just yeah, competing with people that uh, you can't practice with regularly, but I think it must be really fun
Mm.
to take the most of that opportunity to be at the Worlds and also compete with others from around the world. How do you plan for that? Because I'm guessing you communicate beforehand and maybe thinking about your strategy, like, because there will be several
Mm.
other people who have that predicament that they can't practice with their team. How are you preparing for that, being so far away?
Well, we meet online and we are planning and puzzling together then, but it's pretty hard. We are practicing hopefully in Spain. But last year we did one puzzle before the competition, so we don't have very much time to practice together.
That's true, yeah. So communicating beforehand and making a plan, but then, yeah, you also need to have some time before the actual kickoff of the Worlds to squeeze in some team practice live as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jim, did you have a question for Amelia?
I guess a lot of other puzzlers, because you're one of the top puzzlers, a lot of other people will look up to you. What advice do you give new puzzlers that are thinking, "Oh, I can't even break I can't even break an hour and a half. It's never going to happen."
Yeah, well, maybe I recommend to puzzle only first the puzzles you think or are most easy to you, and start with the smaller puzzles and then do bigger. So yeah, but you really have to practice also these that you aren't good at, because I'm not good at these busy puzzles and I don't do those either. So I can't be good at those if I don't practice.
I mean, finishing a tough puzzle like this, if you haven't done a lot before, in under an hour 20, like that's pretty good in my eyes. Like, how does how do you convince yourself to practice things that you don't enjoy?
Well, maybe I've always loved to do puzzles and wanted to be good at this. I was hoping when I was a kid that there would be puzzle competitions and I wanted to win. So also today I want to win and be very good at puzzling. So that motivates to do also harder puzzles.
Well, you're well on your way to that. I mean, you had an EJJ win recently, so with your
Yeah.
Paris partner. So you're definitely hitting your dream, which is absolutely fantastic to be able to do. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. There's so many good puzzlers, and I'm what's the word? That's good to be in international team because I have to practice my English, as you can hear. But yeah, it's
I anyone who is able to speak another language is phenomenal to me, because I try to learn another language and it just slips off of my brain.
Oh.
So your English is more than fine.
Well,
Anything I try to say is just terrible. So don't even give that a second thought. Your puzzling is at a high international level, and that's exciting. And I'm really excited to see you puzzle at Worlds and really crush the competition and give it a good go.
yeah.
I just have one last question, Amelia.
Yeah.
So I noticed that your husband takes a lot of pictures, a lot of really nice photos. Is
Mm.
is he a professional photographer or hobby photographer?
It's his hobby.
Hmm.
We like to take photos together also. So that's our hobby together also.
Yeah. Have you ever had one of his photos made into a puzzle?
No, but I've thought that, and maybe someday. I've also dreamed to have a own puzzle brand that I would do. He and me would take photos, and also I like to draw. So I would also draw pictures.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. What do you think your ideal puzzle would look like?
Only sky. I love sky.
No. Like a sky on a bright sunny day, like maybe 1-2 clouds, or like dark and stormy sky, lightning bolts all over the place, or something in between.
Maybe big sun that would blend to the sky, and different
Like
color.
you mean like a
Yeah.
gradient?
Yeah.
Yeah,
gradient.
exactly.
Have
Oh.
you done any of those Ravensburger crypt puzzles where it's all the same color but different shapes? Do you enjoy those?
Well, not really. I've done that, but I like that there is a little color difference, that like a
Yeah.
natural sky, there is different colors.
Well, hopefully one of the rounds at Worlds has just the biggest swath of sky for you.
Oh, hopefully.
And everybody
love
else will
that.
be like, "Oh no!" And then Amelia will be like, "Yeah."
Maybe there will be a round of pure sky and one of just trees and flowers, so everybody gets a little bit of something they enjoy.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Amelia. I'm glad we finally got to pin you down a bit and yeah, get to know you a bit better. Yeah, you've done some amazing results here, and yeah, unfortunately not your type of puzzle today, but now you know what you can practice for, something that yeah, that is not your typical style. And yeah, we'll see you again soon in the Jigsaw Jams, if not the Worlds.
Yeah, thank you both. It was
Congrats,
nice
great
to chat.
job.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Oh wow. It's so I'm always amazed at people that enjoy sky, because things that are very very flat and require minute changes in hue in order to piece together. That's very very difficult for a lot of folks.
Yeah, I'll just give a recap on times. I mean, the more people it gets, the harder it gets to keep track. But we had a lot of finishes. The last time I wrote down was Alexander was 34th. So 35th is Sana Susiloto, 36 Anna, 37 Elizabeth, 38 Yana, 39 Sana Vavas, 40th Maria, 41st Dirk, 42nd Marie, 43rd Steffi, 44th Vesna, and 45th Aneta. Yeah, so with 70 people, it is hard to kind of keep track, and I feel like my eyes start to blur when I'm counting. I'm trying to count and I'm trying to read names at the same time, so I'm probably skipping or repeating some things, but that's just like a rough idea. So 45 people at 1 hour and 34 minutes. So still have a yeah, 25-ish people to go. That's if everybody turned up. There's always a couple of people that purchase the puzzle but can't participate for some reason, such as unexpected work or travel or illness. So it is always less than the actual number of puzzles sold. But
Yeah, Catherine Beck mentioned that this is her second JVH puzzle, and was really happy with the result. And it can be pretty exhausting. I've told puzzlers before that if you do it fast, it's over sooner, and then you don't have to be quite as exhausted. So always a bit of a joke to just knock it out a little quicker. But really being able to keep this level of focus on something really busy like this is really impressive. And there's There's Maria plowing through this puzzle, making really great progress. And it looks like Mary Winkler is in the last maybe 35 pieces or so. Going to be able to close out.
So maybe we don't have that many people left. I'm a bit confused. I thought I had 45 people who had finished, but I only see like less than 10 people in the meeting. So Jim, maybe you could tell us what you think about the rule changes.
Oh, for Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the big rule changes that happened at Worlds, and for those of you who weren't keeping updated on it, there was a big shift where the pairs final was originally slated to be a 500 piece puzzle, and then a week or two ago, it was switched to a 1,000 piece puzzle, and there was a bit of a kerfluffle, because there are several different iterations of it, and I think the world jigsaw puzzle championship is painted into a little bit of a corner, because whenever you make that huge piece change, the options are either everybody ends up on a half table, which is very, very difficult to do 1,000 on. We saw it at the U.S. Nationals. It was tricky for a lot of people. Or you can give everybody a whole table, but the catch is you have to cut down the number of finalists that get into that round. And so they were in this really difficult spot, and they tried a couple of different things. One of the things that they proposed was the top 10 or the top 20 or so pairs would get a full table, and then everyone after that would get a half table, with the idea being that most of the people further behind the pack wouldn't, aren't really playing for first at that point. But that's really difficult to say, because if you missed that semifinal by 15 seconds, does that really mean that you don't have a shot to play for the top 10? And a half table difference on 1,000 versus a whole table difference on 1,000 is pretty huge. So it seems like right now the dust is settling, and they're landing on having fewer finalists. I think they've dropped it down to about 100 pairs on whole tables doing a 1,000 piece puzzle, which is what they've had it be in the past. And I have mixed feelings about that, because on one hand, you want to make sure that if people are doing a puzzle, they have the space that they need to do it efficiently and well, and that the space that they're using isn't an impediment to the actual puzzle, right? On the other hand, suddenly dropping the number of finalist participants from, I think it was 180 down to 100, is a little difficult last minute, for a lot of folks that registered and planned and were thinking that they may not make the 100, but they might make the 130 or so. So it's a little difficult. But that's kind of the situation right now, is that they have 100 pairs in the final, each on their own table doing 1,000 piece. So long story long there.
And what's your thoughts on the country rule?
The country filter rule, they've updated it a little bit. I think they now have it set at the first 25 countries that finish, the top 25 finishers from each country gets to go through. It was beforehand the top pair from each country in the semifinal goes through, and that could have allowed for a situation where too many, well, I shouldn't say too many, but countries where there weren't necessarily like S tier pairs would get into a final, and it could knock out several pairs that placed in the top 5 or the top 10 their semifinal, but wouldn't make it to the final because of that country ruling. So I think the shift to cut that down to about 25 makes a lot more sense, because then you're still getting the top country or the top players from several different countries, because you always want an international event to have an international representation. It's not really, it doesn't make a ton of sense to say that there's a world event and then the final only has people from from like 3 or 4 countries, right? Like, big international things should have international events. It's not like the US, where they say it's the World Series of baseball and then there's only US teams in the in the thing, right? Like, you want to have that representation across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, just want to point out Mary finished. Mary Marila from Germany. Well done.
Hey, congrats.
So I think we're going to see some really great times today. We've only got 5 people left. So, and we're at 1 hour and 41 minutes. So we still have 19 minutes. So I think Monica's definitely going to finish. Maria Ruskanova, very close. Also, very doable. Kirsty as well. And Richard and Peter are a bit further behind, but still for 19 minutes, very doable. So I want to encourage you, stick with it, keep on going. You're really close, and yeah, just pull on through. Don't give up yet.
Yeah, it's always difficult once you know that a lot of other people are finishing. You can start to feel a little like, oh man, okay, well, I didn't hit the place that I wanted. I didn't hit the time that I wanted. So you start easing off the gas a little bit and start losing your stride. And so I encourage everybody, fight that urge. And if your tactic currently isn't working, try shifting gears a little bit. Sometimes we call it shifting lenses. If you've been trying to find a specific color, maybe, imagine that you have little goggles on and you just change the lens and now you're looking for a different texture, or maybe you're looking for a specific shape that's inside, right? Because that can allow you just a few seconds of changing the way that you look at the puzzle, and then you can get a couple more pieces in, and then you can box things in a little bit more. And a lot of times, puzzlers end up zooming in on problems rather than being able to focus on solutions. So don't be afraid to look at the image and compare notes to where you have gaps inside of your puzzle, because then you can look at it and say, all right, I have this hole here. This is what it looks like on the image. Let me go find what I'm missing inside of that hole. And that can help bridge the gap a little bit between the endpoints that you want to go to.
I just want to do a shout out to Peter Bailey. So he's in the United Kingdom Jigsaw Puzzle Association Facebook group, and there they are doing a challenge with a Ravensburger 500-piece puzzle. It's called Kitten in a Teacup or something like that. Now this is a speed run competition where you can do the same puzzle as many times as you want, and then basically have your best time in there. His first attempt was 1 hour and 58 minutes. But he has not given up. He has done it multiple times, and at least 5, possibly close to 10. And he managed to improve his time from 1 hour 58 minutes to 59 minutes. So it's shaving off a whole hour, and that just shows what practice does. Just training, dedication. I'm really impressed with him sticking through that, and who knows, maybe he's going to do it another time and get a lower time. But well done, Peter.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, a lot of times if you do the same puzzle a couple of times, you start to see your time cut down by somewhere between 10 to 15% each time you do it, up until you start getting to your PR plateau, or you get towards some of those perfect placement sort of times, like around 30 minutes or so. I kind of hope that at some point there can be a division in like live competition at some point that's either everybody knows what the puzzle is ahead of time and can practice it as much as they want, and you can do it 50 60 times if you really want to, and then day of you have to do it live. That way there's sort of a there can be a really strong contingency of, if you want to study the puzzle ahead of time and you want to really dig into it, then you're competing against all the people that have also really studied that image and that puzzle and are ready for it. I think that would be really, really fun. Um, and the US has a similar thing going this year. The USA JPA, where they have a puzzle and you can turn it in as many times as you want. I think it's colorful cats or colorful book cats, something along those lines. And they have a couple of people that are starting in the upper 30s, low 40s as a pair, and then they're getting it down to closer to low 20s, which is just really fun to see the individual adjustments that you can make to optimize things. Yeah, and who knows, maybe somebody will be able to make a perfect puzzle where all it takes is a grand total of 500 seconds of 1 second to get a piece, put it exactly where it goes, if you get it memorized down to that level. There's a lot of people in the like video game speed running community where they make these hyper optimized strategies in order to figure out how to do something. So maybe if you do it enough, you'll be able to get down there.
So well done to Monica. Last piece is in.
There we go.
There we go. Well done.
Make sure to stretch out your back for a second. Do the little side to side. Do a roll around. We saw Amelia Kay earlier. After she got done, she just sort of like took a quick little collapse over her puzzle and then got back up. Right. Make sure to stretch it out. Maria looks like she's in maybe the last 25 pieces or so.
Looks like less. Maybe like 12 or so.
Yeah.
Well
yeah,
done,
she's
Tamia.
totally got this. Totally got this. Kirsty is in the last couple handfuls. There you go. Sink it. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, so regarding the country rule, I mean, I'm someone who's I'm in two minds about this. I mean, I think it's a weird rule, but I have heard from others who live like in New Zealand or Slovenia or Chile or Mexico that it's really hard to get Ravensburger puzzles, and when they do, they don't have the selection that we have in Europe. So I think from that perspective, I can understand why they're trying to make it a bit more accessible to all the people. However, I don't think it should go beyond the semi-finals. I think from preliminary to semi-finals, you could have a country rule in there. I'm just going to pause for a moment because I can see the last pieces. Here we go. Our youngest solo participant for our Euro Jigsaw Jams, 11 years old, is about to finish. Yes! Whoa, well done.
Also, great Stitch shirt. I big Ohana puzzling. Well done.
Okay. So yeah, so we have 3 participants left with 11 minutes to go. Kirsty is also very close. Yeah, so I feel like from the semifinals to the finals, it should be based completely on merit. That when the final is 100 participants or pairs or however many it's going to be, I think they should be the fastest people there. And I do feel for the people who are really fast but just also have many fast puzzlers from their country, so that includes definitely America, Germany, Finland, and
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
There's I mean we're seeing so many, like, Denmark, like this, and it would just be terrible. I mean, I have something to gain from it because there are only 7, there are 8 New Zealanders registered, Well done, Kirsty.
Good job, Kirsty.
Yay.
Yeah, yeah. You're when in doubt, like if you hit the puzzle, you got one good knock on it, right? Like, well done.
Yeah, so there are only 8 New Zealanders registered for individuals, and we have 6 preliminary rounds. So either I'm going to be the only New Zealander in the round, or I'm going to be one of 2. So there's like a 70% chance, like if I'm not super slow, that I would be in the top 30 countries and would go through. Of course, I would, yeah, some people are banking on that. I would rather get through based on being in the top 30 fastest passes and not from the top 30 countries. Yeah. Oh, there's the cat celebrating.
Yeah,
So
I was like the cat dance.
I think
Yeah,
last time it was a dog that was that Kirsty had a dog last time, or maybe it was just a small dog.
yeah. Well, I think it's a thing where, um, for individuals, if I remember correctly, it's a pretty large finals round where it's I think it's one of those like 180 are going into the finals on the individual. Um, so the country rule there isn't really affecting the top 100 players across the board, right? Like that is very merit based. And then you have another 80 that um are are in that, not the top fastest, but is good to represent into the finals. I think what happened with the rule change in the pairs finals is that because they shrunk it down, because they were tossed into that problem of having to pick, do we make 1,000 on a half table and make it a really rough situation for everybody, or do we just cut the field? The original rules for a 500-piece puzzle, um, and the country rule that they had set at the time, that fit. But then whenever they make this pretty big change, a lot of the processes have to get adjusted as well. Um, and it's tough. I'm very split on it, because on one hand you want the most number of people to be competing at any time, and you also want the top people to be competing against the top people whenever you can. So maybe the solution is, down the line, there's just more preliminary rounds. I know that there's been rumors of sort of a national qualifying situation, but that becomes difficult because if you can't be to a certain qualifying at nationals, does that mean that you shouldn't be able to go to a world event? Um, yeah, it's a difficult position. I think the rules that they had before they made the 1,000 change made sense. Even in the individuals, it seemed fairly reasonable, because there's there's 92 countries. So if you took the top one from every, or I think there's 90 countries or so going to Worlds this year. So let's say that one person from each of those made it in. You're still getting the top 100 overall inside of there, regardless of where those 92 place, right? And a lot of those are going to be the top from those countries anyway, right? Like you're going to have the top individuals from Spain and Czech and Czechoslovakia, the US. You're going to have the top people there. So then the rest fill out still as the normal, or as the expected merit badge. Yeah. So it's a tough square to try to circle. Um, and I know they're doing their best. There are somebody mentioned there's country rules that exist in many sports.
I've never heard of that in any sports outside. I never came across that country rule before until I watched the Karen's video about the world. What kind of country?
Yeah.
What kind of sports? I've never heard of that before. So we have 5 minutes. Peter and Richard from the UK. 5 minutes.
I think I could be very, very wrong here, and I'm sure somebody will correct me because once it's said on the internet, that's kind of how things go. I think my understanding is that at the Olympics, being able to compete at the Olympics, you just need to hit national requirements, and then you can go regardless of being able to get into finals and everything like that. So there is precedence there. Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, somebody mentioned that in a lot of the other sports, there's prelims for the country, and then the best ones from the country go into the thing. And that might be a way to do it, is that the prelims get organized by country a little bit more and then feed up. But then you run into the sort of the inverse problem of, if you have 80 of the top Spain puzzlers, but 30 of them are the top puzzlers in the world, you're cutting that 15 out right away. So it's difficult. Somebody mentioned that there's gymnastics has a 2 per country rule in the Olympics. Only the top 2 competitors from each country make it into the final. Yeah, and that's certainly an option. I get a little leery on that whenever it's puzzling, because there's not these gigantic there's not these gigantic institutions of, you're going to these locations to train to go to the Olympics kind of things for puzzling. There's not exactly a we were asking Violas earlier, there's not like a Holland puzzle dojo where people spend their careers building up for it in order to go. And because it's a little more individualized, and a little more grassroots, I'm not quite sure that making that pure cutoff makes a lot of sense just yet.
Yeah, well, the New Zealand Championships, the first ever New Zealand Speed Puzzling Championships took place last weekend, so I couldn't be there. So
Oh, no.
if they say that you have to be in your country of origin, then that makes it a bit more difficult for expats.
Yeah.
So we have
Well,
2 minutes left, Peter and Richard. 2 minutes. Go, go, go. Oh, Peter is, yeah.
Peter, you can do it.
Plugging in the gaps.
Don't call the flag yet. You can do it. Don't wave it off. Grab a piece, see where it goes, and sink it. There's a lot of good gaps there. Oh man.
Yeah, I see Richard had been studying his poster. I mean, it's a very busy image, and yeah, this is Richard's first time to participate in the Euro Jigsaw Jam. Yeah, as always, I'm always really impressed how many new people are participating. When I go through the list, there's many familiar names that I'm getting used to and learning their pronunciation. But even this time, I would say that we have like 15 people who are participating for the first time, and yeah, just great to see the popularity growing.
Yeah. No, it's really really exciting. There's even talk that next year they might have to get an entirely different place to do the Worlds next year, just because there's not going to be enough space. Yeah, look at that image. There is so much to dig through inside of there. And several people mentioned the blue trousers being a snag. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's at least 15 different places that those blue trousers can be.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Good job, everybody.
So close, Peter and Richard, but good effort. You hang on, you hung in there till the end.
Well, and even if you didn't get all the pieces in, there's a chance you might qualify. Just because you have more pieces in than somebody else. We saw at the World's pairs final last year. A lot of pairs didn't finish, and it kind of placement came down to just the number of pieces that you had in. So never give up.
Peter, please count up your leftover pieces and write the number in the chat, and then you can get back to finishing the puzzle. Because I know when you're so close, you don't want to leave without placing those last pieces. All right. So Peter had 39 pieces left. So probably just going to take him less than 10 minutes. Richard had 142. No worries, Richard.
Yeah, whenever it's not your puzzle, it's not your puzzle, and that's okay.
Yeah. All right, SJ.
Hi there.
Thanks, Peter.
You did great.
So, SJ, how was today?
Oh, a lot. It was a lot of people to try to go back through up and down through the list, and I'm frustrated I didn't get everyone's finish. I missed people, but I tried.
No, you were doing really well. I mean, they were it was really good when you were saying like 50 pieces left. This person has 40 pieces. There's 30 pieces. So it definitely made my job easier. And we're going to see you next time, but you're going to be co-host in August.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And so what are you working on at the moment, puzzle-wise? What's your project right now?
So I haven't started. I just opened the box last night, but I've got a puzzle. I'm staying with a friend currently, and she's not here, but I've brought a special puzzle to surprise her for when she comes back, because we went to the same university together, and we both love the same sport at that university, which is University of Louisville basketball. If you're familiar, go Cards.
Go Cards.
But at any rate, it's a big panorama of our basketball court and basketball being played at our university. So.
And how many pieces is that?
It's only 1,000, but it is a very difficult puzzle.
Only 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's a photo of people playing basketball. So
yeah, and you can see the crowd. Kind of.
No.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard.
Oh, but that'll be fun. You can reminisce about the university days and watching sports together.
I hope she doesn't see. I don't think she's going to be watching this where she is currently, but I've just ruined the surprise if she is.
Yeah, so Jim, it's still the middle of the night for you.
Oh no, it's 6 in the morning. It's totally fine.
Okay.
The middle of the night was a while ago. This is great.
So you're an early bird. Well, I really appreciate it. So the next 2 times, so you're also going to be co-hosting next time. So the next 2 times for number 16 and number 17.
Yep, people are going to get real annoyed real fast, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's a better time zone. I think we'll have some evening ones ahead of us. Yeah. So thanks everyone for thanks SJ and Jim. It was really appreciated. And thanks to all those watching on YouTube and those who have participated and left your comments. I'm really interested to know what you thought of it, and of course to see all the photos coming up on Instagram. As I mentioned, we're planning to release the next mystery puzzles tomorrow evening, and that would be one more in August, 4 in September, and 3 in October. So if you're interested in participating in those, sign up to our newsletter. And well, I know people will be stalking the website, but the newsletter will be coming out as when they're ready. So,
Stalk the website, get in early before they go.
Well, last time the solos did sell out in 24 hours. So
No.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. If you're still here and watching, like, absolutely stalk the website. Put alarms on, because if you want in, you got to get in before they go.
Yeah, because when my husband puts them online, then they're all available, and then he can do the finishing touches to the newsletter, but the newsletter ended up going out about 20 minutes later, but they were already just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. But we'll let everybody know once they're there. So thanks everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And yeah, I'm going to participate this afternoon. I'm doing the Yukari Italian competition, so looking forward to
Good
that.
luck. I was watching part of that today. It was or yesterday. It was fun. It looks like a tough one. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, so Alejandro is participating, so this will be my first time to participate alongside Alejandro, so that'll be fun.
Oh, you got this. You got this.
Yeah, aiming for second. Yeah. Top 10. All right, thanks everyone.
Have a good one.